It starts off sounding like any regular pop track. But there's something different about it, like a quiet truth that's been buried for years and is finally being shared. After staying silent for so long, despite the nonstop chatter from fans and gossip blogs, Selena Gomez has chosen this moment to speak. And instead of turning to social media or sitting down for a headline-grabbing interview, she chose to express herself through her music. Her new song, Don't Take It Personally, isn't just another tune on a playlist. It lands like a quiet but powerful wave. It doesn't shout, but it leaves an impact that can't be ignored. It's the kind of song that doesn't just trend, it starts conversations across platforms and gets people talking. For years, the internet has been buzzing with theories about some sort of hidden tension between Selena and Hailey Bieber. The signs were subtle matching clothes, oddly timed photos, and timelines that seemed to overlap when it came to their connection with Justin Bieber. Fans picked up on every little thing, creating split-screen comparisons, going over old interviews, and piecing together stories like detectives on TikTok. Through all of it, Selena stayed quiet. She never really addressed the speculation, no matter how loud it got. Tina, with just one song, it feels like she's acknowledged everything. It's as if she's saying, yes, I've seen it all. I just never said anything before. The lyrics are clear and pointed, but they don't feel angry. They seem carefully written, like someone telling their side of the story without the need to shout or accuse. There's a particular line that grabs attention. I know the two of you used to talk every day. It feels real, almost like something overheard in private. Then there's another line that stings differently. You probably got a dartboard with my face right in the middle. It doesn't feel random, it feels direct, and the fans caught on to it immediately. As soon as the track dropped, TikTok was flooded with reactions. On Twitter, people were posting screenshots of the lyrics, discussing theories, and pointing out old incidents they thought now made sense. Many saw this as Selena finally telling her side, not just about Justin, but also about everything that's happened between her and Hailey over the years. The track Don't Take It Personally isn't placed at the beginning of the album. It's near the end, sitting second to last, like she's tying up loose ends. It gives the impression that she's wrapping up that part of her life. Not with drama, but with peace. But just when things start to make sense, she throws in a curveball in the album notes. Selena claims that this song isn't even about her. She says it was inspired by someone else's experience, and she just connected with it enough to write a song. But the timing of the release, the emotional delivery, and the detail in the lyrics feel too close to home for most listeners to believe it's entirely fictional. So people are left wondering, is she trying to avoid media attention? Is this her way of expressing herself while keeping things vague enough to avoid headlines? Whether it's her personal story or someone else's, the impact is the same. The song has brought old memories back into focus and made people question everything all over again. Now, fans are asking something they've been holding back for years. Was all of this ever a coincidence? Or is Selena finally confirming what everyone has been thinking all along? On March 21, 2025, Selena released her fourth studio album, I Said I Love You First. The project was a collaboration with her fiancé Benny Blanco and was promoted as a reflection of their love, emotional healing, and personal growth. The album had 14 songs, each with its own style and tone. Big artists like Gracie Abrams, J Balvin, and Charli XCX were featured. It was well received, entering the Billboard 200 at number 2 and climbing charts worldwide. Multiple songs made it to the Hot 100, and overall it looked like a major success. But among all those tracks, one stood out, not because of its sound, but because of its message. Don't Take It Personally wasn't released as a single. There was no trailer or teaser to hype it up. It just appeared quietly with the rest of the album. Yet the moment it hit streaming platforms, it started trending. Not because of a catchy hook, but because people believed it was saying something very specific. Fans immediately focused on the lyrics. TikTok users broke it down line by line, and Twitter feeds lit up with new threads analyzing every word. No matter how you looked at it, the attention kept circling back to one idea, that Selena might finally be addressing Hailey. Or at least, the situation that fans have been speculating about for years. One line in the song especially caught people's attention. He sleeps in my bed. I met his parents. It's official. It didn't feel like poetry. It felt like someone being honest. And then the chorus came in. Simple but powerful. Please don't take it personally. Some things are just meant to be. Don't waste all your energy. We both know that he loves me. What made this even more striking was how she sang it. Not with anger or pain, but with a sense of peace. It didn't sound like she was fighting anyone. It sounded like she had found closure, and this was her way of sharing it. People online couldn't stop talking. They debated whether this was Selena's final word on the tangled history between her, Justin, and Hailey. To some, it seemed like she wasn't throwing blame, but simply telling the truth as she saw it. Like she was saying the drama was never really between her and Hailey. Justin had already chosen and the rest was just noise. But in classic Selena fashion, she added yet another layer of mystery. In her album commentary, she once again downplayed the meaning. She said the song was based on someone else's story, just one she related to and turned into music. Then she added something strange. "This is weird to admit, but yeah, I'm the person it happened to." That sentence only stirred more confusion. If the song wasn't about her, why did it feel so real? And if she truly had moved on, why did the lyrics feel like they were aimed at one very specific person? That push and pull between what she says and what the song feels like is what's keeping people interested. It's not just about what she sings anymore. It's about the way she might be saying everything we've wanted to hear without directly admitting to any of it. That sense of mystery that maybe she's telling the full truth while still calling it fiction is what's making this song unforgettable. To really understand why this one song created such a strong reaction, you have to look back not just to this album, but to where it all began. Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber weren't just another couple in the spotlight. They were the couple. Their relationship was followed like a live TV show. From their first public outing at IHOP in 2010, 2 red carpet appearances, breakups, reconciliation, and all the emotional moments in between, every step was watched by millions. It wasn't just about their music or fame, it was the love story that everyone was invested in. People online tracked everything. A single Instagram caption, a blurry paparazzi photo, even a subtle quote in an interview, it all became part of a bigger narrative fans couldn't let go of. And just when many thought there might be one final reunion, it all changed overnight. In 2018, after their last breakup, fans were still holding out hope. But then came Justin's sudden engagement to Hailey Baldwin. It was fast, too fast for a lot of people. One minute, he was still being linked to Selena. The next, he was off the market, married in a courthouse, and then again in a lavish ceremony. It felt abrupt, like a book that ended without warning. To the public, it seemed like a full stop, but the conversation never really ended. Fans couldn't let go. The internet kept buzzing with theories, assumptions, and timeline. The change was too sharp, the silence too loud. People questioned how quickly it all happened, and more importantly, what it all meant. Hailey becoming Mrs. Bieber didn't just grab headlines, it fueled more speculation than anyone expected. Some people were curious, others judgmental, but no one was quiet. They went back through the past, looking for clues. Every photo, every post, every interview, all of it was re-examined as fans tried to piece together a truth they were sure existed. And through it all, Selena didn't say much. She stayed quiet. She didn't explain or defend. She just kept moving forward until she didn't. In 2019, she released "Lose You to Love Me," and everything changed. The song was raw and emotional. It felt like someone reading their journal out loud. It didn't take long for fans to connect the dots. The lyric, "In 2 months, you replaced us like it was easy," stood out. It seemed to speak directly to Justin's quick engagement. People saw it as her way of showing that she had been deeply hurt, and that she too had been blindsided by how fast things moved. For the first time, Selena opened a window into her personal heartbreak, and the world listened. But her recent track, "Don't Take It Personally," doesn't carry the same sadness. This one feels different. There's no pain in her voice, no sense of heartbreak. It's calm. She sounds like someone who has worked through everything and has nothing left to prove. It's not about grief anymore, it's about clarity. This isn't a cry for help or a need for sympathy. It's more like someone revisiting an old memory, not with hurt, but with understanding. The fact that it comes near the end of the album makes it even more meaningful. It feels like a final reflection before closing the door for good. She's not ignoring the past, but she's not stuck in it either. Even though the song never names names, the meaning feels obvious. It brings everything up. The comparisons, the awkward tension, the history, without needing to directly say who it's about. That subtlety is part of what made it so powerful. It feels like overhearing a private conversation. One that wasn't meant for everyone, but somehow speaks to everyone listening. And when fans heard it, they immediately understood who it sounded like it was directed at. The moment the song dropped, it was everywhere. Social media platforms lit up. TikTok users created videos analyzing the lyrics. Each line was dissected and matched to past events. Twitter filled with threads, tying together quotes, pictures, and interviews, and all signs pointed in one direction: Hailey Bieber. Fan accounts started pairing the lyrics with old images and clips, almost like they were building a timeline, a story that had always been there, but never clearly told. This time, they believed Selena wasn't just hinting, she was speaking. One line in particular made waves: You probably got a dartboard with my face right in the middle. It's not dramatic or loud in delivery. In fact, its calm tone makes it even more powerful. It doesn't come off like an insult. It sounds like a fact she's accepted, and that makes it hit even harder. It's not begging for attention or pity. It's a quiet, bold statement that leaves a mark without needing to yell. Then came the chorus, "Please don't take it personally. We both know that he loves me." It's not bitter. It's not gloating. It sounds like peace, but not the kind that's easy. The kind that only comes after going through a storm and coming out on the other side. For a lot of fans, this felt like the final message. Like Selena had finally said everything that needed to be said. She wasn't trying to reignite old drama. She was simply closing the chapter in her own way. Of course, not everyone saw it the same way. While many fans praised the song for being honest and graceful, some critics weren't as impressed. Some reviews said the track was bold and mature, a strong way to share a personal story without drama. Others said it leaned too heavily on her past and didn't bring anything new to her artistic voice. Outlets like Pitchfork argued that the album overall stayed too focused on old relationships and didn't reflect growth. But none of that mattered to her fans. They weren't looking for flawless production or lyrical innovation. They were listening. For the truth, they wanted closure. And in this song, they felt like they finally got it. What made everything even more confusing was Selena's own explanation. She said the song wasn't about her. According to her, it was inspired by someone else's experience, a story she heard that moved her emotionally. She said she just wrote it from that point of connection, but fans didn't buy it. If the story wasn't hers, why did every line feel so specific? Why did it match her life so closely? Not just in feeling, but in detail. It was hard to ignore. The similarity? And then she added a strange comment. "This is weird to admit, but yeah, I'm the person it happened to." That statement only made things more confusing. If she really wanted people to believe it wasn't her story, why say something like that? It felt like she was speaking in two voices. One that wanted to keep things vague, and another that wanted to finally be honest. That tension between what's said and what's felt is what keeps people listening. It's what keeps the conversation alive. It's what makes Don't Take It Personally more than just a track on an album. It's a piece of a much bigger story. One that, whether she admits it or not, still matters to a lot of people. That's when old rumors started circling again. The ones where people accused Hailey of copying Selena. Fans had been noticing similarities for years. Matching tattoos, outfit choices that felt too familiar, Instagram posts that looked oddly similar. Taken one at a time, these things might have meant nothing. But when you laid them all out together, they started to look like a pattern. People dug up old moments like a Disney date. Both couples had phrases repeated in interviews, even side-by-side clips from their separate cooking shows. TikTok exploded with creators making entire video series breaking down what they called copy-paste behavior. Even though both Selena and Hailey had gone on record denying any kind of feud, the internet didn't let it go. In fact, their silence made everything worse. Instead of calming people down, it only made fans more obsessed. The less they said, the more intense the speculation became. And then, right when it felt like things might settle, Selena released Don't Take It Personally. The song didn't create the tension, it simply poured gasoline on a fire that had never really gone out. It made fans feel like they weren't imagining things. It gave them a reason to believe they'd been right all along. To really understand why it keeps happening, you have to go back to where it all began. Selena and Justin's relationship wasn't just a typical celebrity romance, it became part of internet history. Fans didn't just follow them, they grew up with them. Their ups and downs were woven into the lives of people who watched it all unfold over nearly a decade. It felt personal, like a shared story that everyone had a small piece in. So when Justin got engaged to Hailey shortly after his final split from Selena, it didn't feel like just another relationship milestone. To many, it felt like the ending had been ripped away. Like the love story everyone had emotionally invested in was suddenly rewritten. And because it had all played out in public, fans felt like they had a right to grieve it, investigate it, and refuse to let it go. It didn't matter that both Justin and Selena were trying to move on. Online, people weren't finished with the story. Hailey may have legally become Mrs. Bieber, but the ghost of Jelena, the nickname for Justin, and Selena never really disappeared. Every time Selena released a song, fans listened for clues. Every time Hailey posted something new, it was studied for hidden messages, for signs of competition or bitterness. Their lives became two sides of the same coin, compared endlessly, picked apart constantly. The pressure wasn't coming from them, it was coming from the outside. From fandoms that had made this story part of their identity, there are entire TikTok accounts built around this obsession. Fans have posted videos arguing that Hailey has mirrored Selena's life for years, from tiny tattoos to public projects to even their speaking styles. Whether those claims were taken seriously or not, the content reached millions of people. It became its own type of content online. Not just gossip, but analysis, theories, timelines, and evidence boards. All centered on two women who never said they had a problem with each other. That's when things got darker. It stopped being about celebrity drama and turned into something heavier. Fans weren't just observers anymore. They became part of the fight. It became emotional, personal. They weren't just commenting. They were defending, accusing, and in some cases, even attacking. In that kind of space, where people feel like they have something to prove, small coincidences start looking like carefully planned actions, and every silence becomes suspicious. Songs stop being art. They become ammo. There was a moment that sent the internet into another frenzy. When Hailey briefly followed a Selena fan page, then quickly unfollowed. It lasted only seconds, but the internet doesn't miss anything. That one click became a new conspiracy. People weren't just curious, they were convinced there had to be a reason. It wasn't about white dresses or similar selfies anymore. It became a question of motive. Was it admiration? Was it mockery? What once could have been dismissed as common public overlap between two famous women was suddenly treated like concrete proof of deeper tension. And when Selena dropped, "Don't take it personally," fans thought they finally had their confirmation. To them, this song wasn't just music. It was a long-awaited answer. But beneath the millions of views, likes, and shares, something real is happening. Something that has little to do with entertainment. The emotional weight of all this has become too much. It's not just pop culture commentary anymore, it's toxic. And it's affecting both women in ways that can't be seen through screen grabs and reaction videos. Both Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber have publicly asked for it to stop. And not just once. They've made multiple statements over the years. Not with polished PR language, but with honesty. You could hear the frustration in their voices. You could tell it wasn't about protecting a brand. It was about protecting their mental health. In March 2023, the internet found something new to fight about. What fans jokingly called Eyebrowgate. Both Selena and Hailey posted content around the same time involving their eyebrows, and somehow it became another battleground. The posts were simple, but the reaction was anything but. Selena finally hit her limit. "I'm too old for this," she wrote in a post, announcing a break from social media. There was no drama in her words, no sarcasm, just exhaustion. You could tell she was done being pulled into something that had gone too far. When she eventually returned, her tone was calm but clear. "Please be kinder. Consider others' mental health. I only want good for everyone." It didn't feel like a celebrity trying to keep fans happy. It felt like a human asking to be left alone. Then something happened that made everything even more serious. That same month, Selena shared that Hailey had reached out to her in private. Not just because of rude comments, but because she was receiving actual death threats. That was the line. Selena stepped in immediately, telling her fans to stop. "No one should have to experience hate or bullying," she wrote. That moment showed the truth. This so-called feud wasn't real. It was never about them. It was about the people watching from the sidelines, creating drama where there was none. Hailey has also tried to make herself heard. In March 2025, she posted a TikTok video that didn't feel like content. It felt like a cry for peace. There were no filters, no clever edits, just her talking straight to the camera. "Leave me alone. I'm minding my business. Be miserable. Somewhere else, please." Her words were tired, not dramatic. She didn't sound like someone trying to stir anything up. She sounded like someone completely drained. And for a moment, it cut through the noise because behind all the posts, lyrics, and headlines are two women who didn't ask for this war. Two women who are trying to live their lives while the internet keeps pushing them into a story they're clearly tired of being a part of. And honestly, who wouldn't feel overwhelmed? For years, Hailey has been boxed into extreme labels, either painted as the villain or accused of copying every part of Selena's life. People have analyzed everything she does, from her clothing choices to her tone of voice, and linked it all back to Selena. She's been stuck in this constant cycle of being compared, like she can't exist without someone lining her life up next to someone else's. In that kind of environment, even saying nothing becomes suspicious. Even breathing a little differently becomes something worth talking about at this stage. It's clear that both women are exhausted. They've said it directly. They want peace. Not because they're covering anything up. Not because there's drama happening behind the scenes. But because the conversation has taken on a life of its own and it's no longer healthy. Despite their pleas, the theories keep getting more complicated. People are still creating timelines, making comparison videos, and pulling quotes from years-old interviews, trying to piece together patterns. What started as fans showing support has turned into a strange kind of surveillance. There's a difference between admiration and obsession. And that line has been crossed for a while now. What used to be love for their music or their work has turned into ownership of their lives. The story isn't about right or wrong anymore. It's about how long we can drag it out before someone finally says, enough. Even after everything, even after multiple public requests to stop, the obsession continues like it's a never-ending mystery to solve. On TikTok, creators are still comparing Selena and Hailey's tattoos, styles, interviews, and body language. Some say Hailey's cooking show is just a slightly tweaked version of Selena plus chef. Others bring up a small G tattoo behind Hailey's ear, suggesting it's too similar to Selena's tribute to her sister Gracie. There are side-by-side Instagram posts, old Disneyland photos, and identical captions, all used as evidence of something deeper. And to fans deeply invested in this narrative, every detail feels like it proves something. But for the women involved, it must feel like a trap. Because when every little thing is treated like part of a puzzle, there's no such thing as coincidence. Everything gets twisted into a theory. Even completely normal behavior is treated like a secret message. That's when things start crossing over from curious to harmful. Some fans have even taken it further, creating full-length YouTube documentaries and TikTok exposes claiming that Hailey spent years plotting to be with Justin. These videos dig up old tweets, screenshots, blurry photos, and alleged DMs to argue that she used her connections to get close to him. Some go as far as calling her a stalker. Others say she's trying to become Selena. These videos go viral,